everyone, Lady Steam here. We've made it to Project 11 in the Kinetic Coder Club, and in the first year of design week, that means that we're approaching the holiday season. So we thought we'd do a fun ornament. This is a snowflake ornament with a geared snowflake that we designed, kind of a fun pattern, and with a set of gears on it. When we look at the drawings, we'll talk a little bit about some of the things you can do with both the gears that we've given you and with the drawings themselves. Talk about some customizations you might want to make as you make this project. And it's a fairly easy one to build, so it's one that'll be really fun for gifts for folks that you might want to give something really fun to. And so we'll talk about how to cut it and then how to make it. Now that you know what you're making, let's take a quick look at the projects and the files in this project. You'll notice this is called the Geared Snowflake, and we've provided them as always in inch and millimeter Corel format, and inch and millimeter DXF and SFG, as well as in a PDF. Hopefully by now you've successfully opened our files and decided what format makes the most sense for you. So I've opened the Corel 17-inch file here, and I have it sitting on my desktop. I'm going to switch this to fit so I can see the entire size of the image. And you'll notice that we've got our 9 gears here and our logo on the front. So first thing you want to check, as always, is the image really the size we've said it is? This box should be 7 inches by 8 inches, and it is. And so now I can get rid of the box and this extra text, since we don't want to cut that. I also have instructions down here on the bottom, as always, about what size and what image devices you need. And you'll see that we're looking for 9 3/8" screws, 440 screws, and 9 nuts, as always. This is a ribbon loop to hang it, is our current design. And so you'll want to make sure you have those as well. And then in terms of cutting order, we've said this is etching. Now this is the Steamy Tech logo, which you're more than welcome to leave on your projects. We certainly hope you will, but you're certainly not required to. And I'm going to get rid of this first and do Control A to move this down into the lower left-hand corner of my screen. So green is meant to be etching. That's the logo. Blue is interior cuts and red is exterior cuts. But let's talk about some other things you could do if you wanted to do something similar but you didn't want a snowflake. A few weeks ago we showed you how to build a pin from a piece of art. You can certainly do the same thing here. Now, there are 8 screw holes that are 0.1 in size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are the ones that our gears are going to go to. Now, it would be lovely to put a 9th gear here, but because gears turn in opposite directions, if you put a 9th gear here, they won't spin at all. So you only get 8 gears in this list. And if you hold those 8 screw locations plus the center one all together, you could move those over and we could put this same gear pattern on anything you might want it to be. Very simply, a very simple change you could make. Another thing you can do to this, which would be a little trickier, and it's something you'll want to play with on some scrap wood first, is you might want to mount this such that you had a motorized ornament spinner or something else through one of these holes. The motorized spinners are kind of interesting because if you make this big enough and you make the center hole in one of the gears big enough, you can let that drive the entire line of gears, which would also be something that might be interesting to do with your project. But from a cutting and design project, if you want this one as it is, it's pretty simple. If you don't want the Steamy Tech again, you can just delete each of these letters individually and go ahead, save it in the format you need to, or print it directly to your laser, and you'll be all set and ready to go. Now that you've cut all your pieces, we've talked about the different things you can do. I'm going to walk you through a quick assembly video. This is one of those that really what you care about is making sure you've sanded and decorated the surfaces so everything spins nice and smoothly. And it will work much better if everything's nice and smooth. Other than that, it's pretty easy to assemble. You'll notice I've got 9 gears and 9 screws, but the first of those is going to go in the middle. Now, the hole size is probably 0.1 in the drawing. And so it wants to screw in just a little bit. If it's too loose or too tight, that's fine because you're going to actually use your glue to get it adjusted to the right tension. So I'm just going to put a drop of glue on the back of here and put my nut on. As always, you certainly can use thread locker with this so you're not forever committing that screw and that nut, but glue works equally well. Ideally, you've decorated this side so you're actually doing it on the other side, but I thought I would do a quick demo here. And then all you're going to do is put these on all the way around. Since I made the hole sizes small, I can just hand screw them on a little bit at a time as I go around. Get them all on and make sure they're all spinning properly. And then I can flip it over and put glue and nuts on the back. As I've said, assembly and building is a pretty simple process, but it's such a fun ornament or hangy to put up someplace for this time of year that we thought it would be a good one to include, and it does make a really fun gift for someone. So now I'm just going to screw these down a little bit all the way around. Make sure I don't do them tight. Once you've screwed them in, if you unscrew them, you will probably never be tight enough to actually hold with screwing them in, but you can do this the first time, and it makes it a little easier to adjust the thread on the nuts. Make sure it'll spin smoothly, then you can flip it over and do 1 dot of glue at a time. That one's a little bit too far out. 1 dot of glue or 1 dot of thread locker on each nut all the way around. And you will very quickly have a really pretty ornament. Make sure when you're doing it that you don't get very much glue on, or you will accidentally slide it through the hole and get glue onto the back of the gear, and that will be a problem. And then when I'm done with this, I got a little piece of ribbon, and what I have here is purple, but you can use any color you want depending on how you've decorated your snowflakes. Purple may be the perfect color for a geared snowflake. Okay, and it all spins easily. And then I'm going to use this point right here to put the ribbon on. And I'm going to bring it through, I'm going to fold it in half, bring it through from the back. And I'm going to loop it over and put the tops through like so. Give myself a nice tied hanger, and once I've done that, then all I need to do is tie a loop in the top of my ribbon, and I can put this anywhere, and I have a really fun snowflake that I can hang up and play with. Thank you. We'll see you next time for Project 12.